Hello, students. Today we're talking about period 3, lead up to the revolution. First off, the impact of French and Indian War. A lot of tension started in the British colonies following the 7 Years' War. It was also known as the French and Indian War. When the British used the colonists and their homes and money to fight and fund the battles versus the French and natives, it left a sour taste. Colonists' lives and homes were lost or damaged, and the crown, the British King George III, raised taxes on the colonists to pay for it. The main objection from the colonists was that these taxes were levied or issued without their consent, unlike the taxes on the people of Great Britain. Additionally, King George took back the promise of land west of the Appalachians by installing it as an Indian reserve with the proclamation of 1763. New tax and collection. In addition to the tensions created by the Royal Proclamation of 1763, Great Britain for the first time attempted to levy direct taxes on the colonies. In order to pay for the debt incurred by the French and Indian War, the British Crown and Parliament passed the Sugar and Stamp Acts of 1764 and 1765, respectively. Many colonists refused to pay for these taxes and fees and harassed British official collectors. The British government responded by increasing the presence of British troops. So more and more troops were being sent. In order to house these troops, the British also enacted the Quartering Acts of 1765, which required colonists to house and feed British soldiers. To make matters worse, a series of taxes were applied to a broad swath of goods with the Townshend Acts in 1767. Altogether, the colonists were increasingly frustrated with the seemingly new British attempts to assert control and authority over the previously independent colonies. Increased British authority. Colonists intensely opposed the new taxes, often opting instead to boycott or purchase smuggled Dutch goods in lieu of paying the British taxes. In this regard, women played a primary role in the boycotts as they were often the ones that purchased these goods. In 1773, with the British East India Company on the verge of bankruptcy, the British passed the Tea Act to reduce the price of British East India Company tea in the Americas. While the lowered price might seem appealing, most colonists opposed the measure, suggesting it was a way to covertly legitimizing British taxes. So with the Tea Act, the British would lower the price of tea. However, colonists were like, nope, this is a way to legalize the taxes, and we don't agree with that. As such, many colonists opted for the more expensive smuggled Dutch tea instead of purchasing a cheaper British tea. Fed up with British incursions, a group known as the Sons of Liberty, men who opposed the aristocracy and wealthy landowners, disguised themselves as Indians and threw British tea overboard at the so called Boston Tea Party.